Hello, hello. Give me just a moment to pull this up on my big TV so I can talk to you while we work. There it goes. We'll go live in just a couple minutes. Not go live. We're already live, right? But we'll art in just a couple of minutes. Hi, Dina. All right. Hi, Norma. How are you? Okay, that looks good. That looks good. Looks like I got everything up correctly, which is a plus. That is nice. I have a good view. My stuff is all here. Good, good, good. Okay. We are rocking and rolling. That's so good. I'm so glad to hear that. So, yeah, I am. Now, I don't think that I fixed the focus thing, and I'm actually not sure if I can. I may have to buy a different webcam. So we'll see. I've been doing a little bit of research. And it seems like maybe the one I bought. So I went to Best Buy and picked it out, and I paid a pretty penny. It's not super cheap. But it apparently one of the selling features of this particular webcam is an autofocus, which obviously is not what I want. So I may have to do a little more research and see if I can return this one for a different one. But I don't know yet. So I just feel like it's leaning that way. So I do apologize. Hi, Palm. I do apologize about the autofocusing. Hopefully it doesn't make you sick tonight. I know that it is not the greatest, especially when we're doing art and things are moving around on the table. But how can life be fun without weirdness, right? I'm going to give it just a couple more minutes. I'll start arting right at 7. Oh, let's see. I love how clear the picture is, though. The webcam itself is really nice. I just think I should have paid better attention to the functions that it has. No biggie. It's something I can correct later. How's everyone doing? Yes, absolutely. It is such a work in progress, right? Figuring it all out. And I don't mind figuring it out. I've always been that way, a problem solver, moving on to the next thing, trying this out, trying that out. And I'm so glad you guys have been great about it as well. And we're really close to having the whole thing solved. And yes, absolutely. We're nice and clear. We have a great clear picture. We have, you can hear me really well. We have so few interruptions now compared to when we were streaming just a few weeks ago, a month ago. So yeah, it is what it is. Working our way through it. And I thank you guys so much for being here. Oh, I know what I can do. You guys want to see the 2 stamps I carved? Oops, that's the wrong one. so you can see them finished in person. Also, if you're doing Carve December, a lot of people will draw on their material with a Sharpie, but I am telling you, Stabilo is a miracle pencil because it draws so well on carvable material. It's really killer. So this is my Carve December box. I keep everything in here except for the material that I carve. And then here are the two I've done so far, Love and Float. So here's my love stamp. And here's my paper boat. It's so cute. I love it so much. I'm so happy with how it turned out. Stabilo, I buy them by the box on Amazon or from Dick Blick. So if you, is there a description on this video yet? Sometimes it puts it there automatically for me and sometimes it doesn't. But if you do Amazon/shop/DeeDee Catron, you'll there's actually links to Stabilo marks all there. Or you can just search on Amazon for Stabilo, or I get them at Dick Blick sometimes, depending on how many I need. It's this pencil here. But yeah, these are mine. Look at them. I'm so happy. I hope I have terrible follow through with some things, so I'm hoping that I can follow through with this year because it's so fun. And I'm going to try to make more repeatable patterns. I want that. I would rather have repeatable patterns than one-off stamps when it comes to hand carving. I did get an update on my washi tape, by the way. I think it's 7. Okay. I think it's supposed to ship in 2 days. So then hopefully it's just about a week out from there. And then I hope to have it for a pop-up shop in the middle of December. We will see. So supporters, when I do like pop-up shops and art sales, I'll say December 15th is when I'll have a pop-up shop. And it'll have some different things like washi tape, a couple journals I've made, some clips I've handmade, and so like little kits and dyed stuff. And it's literally like a pop-up shop, something that I don't stock normally. And then if I say it's going live the 15th, then supporters actually get access on the 10th. That's what I'm shooting for. So they'll have a few extra days to shop and they get first dibs. And then if you're a tier $24.99 or higher, you get an extra discount, even on pop-up shop stuff. And yeah, so hopefully that washi tape gets here. Okay, so you can become a supporter via my main YouTube page. So if you just type in youtube.com/DeeDee Catron, right next to the subscribe and the notifications button is now a join button. And there's lots of ways to join. You can just join via tip, and that's great. $2 a month. Any little bit helps me, keeps me going, keeps me creating for you guys. And then as the tiers go up, then there are more and more benefits. So right there on the main page. I'm going to work on this tonight. So this is what I've been working on for the last month and a half, maybe-ish, going live with you guys. It was on Facebook, but now it's on YouTube. I love YouTube Live. I will never, ever, ever stop talking about how good YouTube Live is. It's so crisp and clear, and we're here, and everything works so well. So I'm working on this little envelope journal, and originally my intention was to put these tags inside here, but as I've been working on it just this last time, I decided that I don't want to put them in anymore. I would rather attach them as a tip in and as like a little extra foldable page. So now I have all these gorgeous tags and I'm working on putting them onto these pages. But I wanted to work more on the actual like base before I start including all my tags. And one of the things I want to do is some stitching. So I need you to tell me if you mind that I bring up my sewing machine and stitch on these, because everyone's going to feel different. And if you do mind, then I won't do it. I'll find something else to work on in these specifically. But my plan tonight was to stitch on my machine and chat with you while I just did some stitches on all these pages. And I hadn't done the stitches previously because I thought I was going to put things in them, right? I thought I was going to put the tags inside the envelopes, but I'm not doing that now. So, hi, Deborah. Okay, great. Yeah, if you guys don't mind, I'm going to get it out. Sometimes people don't like the noise, or, you know, it's not as exciting as watching someone paint or draw. But I love stitching. I love adding stitches and sewing and on paper so much. It makes me so happy. Okay, great. So give me just a second. It's really close. I just got to get it up on the screen, up on the desk. I actually have a permanent place for my machine, but it's not somewhere that you guys can easily see from where you are. So I will move it to where you can. All right, so I don't know what's going to happen here really quick. It may take me as far as the camera goes, and it may take me just a moment to get the view correct. So my sewing machine is a Brother. Hi, Lisa. I love sewing on paper so much. All my friends make fun of me, of like my local friends, because they hate sewing. But my local friends are mostly scrapbookers. All my art friends are online. So I'll show you real quick. It's straight up just a super simple Brother sewing machine. I did luck out and get the Project Runway limited edition, and it does all these stitches. So that part is pretty exciting. I haven't played that much with them. But they're there. I switch back and forth between a zigzag stitch and a straight stitch, like 99.9% of the time. I have tried a couple other things, and if I move it this way, then you can kind of see all the stitches that it does. But this was seriously like $100. It was cheap, super cheap. And I get all these stitches. You know, someday in the future, I may want something a bit more exciting, but for what I do, and if this guy runs out, then I can just get another one. I mean, you know, which is nice, because when it comes to tools, we don't want to pay a ton when we have to replace tools, because the tools are the more expensive part, but right off the bat. So let's see. Does that view look okay? I know it's a lot. I have not even tried them all. It's a shit ton. It's a ton. Sorry. It's a ton. I'm going to try not to say that S word again right now. Okay, I need to put my mouse somewhere. And I think that this will be a pretty good view, because I want you to see things as they come out the back. But it is kind of focused. Oh, there. Hello. Okay. Maybe if I'm going to bring it towards me a little more. I can't go too much or it'll fall off the table, but it should help. Okay, there. I think that will be all right. So the focus is probably going to be a little crappy for just a minute, but we'll get there. So I have my journal, peekaboo, and I'm going to run it through, and I am starting with a straight stitch, and I'm going to make some straight stitches. So you should see it come out on the other side. I can cuss pretty well, but I try to save it for the private videos that are for supporters on Tuesdays and Thursdays, because I really want, like, people, parents, kids, grandparents, you know, I want everyone to watch the really live ones. And so also, I don't want to get in trouble. because I don't mark my videos unsafe, so I want people to watch them. Okay, so one other little thing is the tie. I have to clip the tie for my journal because I don't want it to get in the way or get caught up in my machine. So I'm just going to wrap it around itself and clip it to the front. And give me a moment, I'll just show you what I mean. All right, so you can see there, I've just wrapped it up and clipped it to the top so that it isn't like hanging out and getting caught in all my stuff. It's so funny that I like peekaboo. Oh, I love it. I love it so much. Okay. I'm going to start with a straight stitch. And one thing that I do is that I'm not sure everyone else does is I always put my stitch at the widest length so that because I'm sewing on paper and not fabric, it doesn't move as quick. The needle, the feed dogs don't move as quick on paper as they do on fabric. So if I start with a thinner, a smaller stitch, then it can bunch up. But just by going to the max on my stitch length, I avoid that. I've never had any issues since I started doing that. So, all right. And I am not going to be like careful or specific in any way. And you can see here, just a straight stitch, put a couple more right by it. And as far as needles go, I start out with the needle that the machine comes with. And then when that breaks and I need to buy a replacement, then I just get a heavy duty needle and I'm good to go. Start wide. Yep. Always start with the widest stitch if you're stitching on paper. Now we have 2. And I'm going to do a third one. Hi, Diane. Also, because it's paper and not fabric, I am not worrying about back stitching. So this isn't something that's going to be worn or played with or moved a lot. And so in that case, I don't need to go back and forth to lock my stitch in place. So now I just have these 3 stripes in stitching, however they end up down the long run. And then I also have them on the back. And I'm going to leave my threads. I really like the hangy down threads. Let's see. Can I get the camera a bit closer? The only way for me to get my camera closer right now is for me to completely reposition it. Yeah, I'm sorry. I should have thought about that ahead of time, but I kind of needed to check if you guys were okay with me stitching anyways. But I'll get some stitching done quickly, and I won't chat about it as much if you guys just want to bring up if you want to have a conversation, let's just talk about something and I'll get some stitching done. And then I'll move this out of the way so we can see it better. And we can talk about all the stitching that way. I should have thought about it. I do appreciate the suggestion for sure. Whoops. Whoa, that got crazy. That's all right. It happens. Wait till you see this. This got nuts. Good thing I don't mind it. So I won't lie, my machine's having a little bit of a hard time going through some of these thicker areas where I have the envelope layered up, and then I have masking tape there also. That's okay. All right, let me show you. I mean, it seriously got crazy, but so here is, I did utilize the back stitch here just to go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And it's nuts, but it's okay because I'm working on it and I have lots more to do on this. So, you know, yeah, another time. So if I do some more stitching, I'll definitely zoom in better. Yes. No need to backstitch, Deborah, especially when it comes to things like Bag of Bones. So Bag of Bones is a journal making workshop that I have. And actually I have a new module for you guys. I have 2 new modules for you guys for Bag of Bones. But so I did stitch on pages in Bag of Bones. And when it comes to things like art journals, you definitely don't have to backstitch because we're going to go in and add other mediums and paints and glue and, you know, do lots of other things on top of it. So the chances that your stitching is going to come out is very, very minimal. And if it does, well, then you just have some kick-ass holes on your journal to play with. That's how I see it. It's just too much. Like I'm not spending all my time doing that. No way, Jose. Okay, I'm going to do just a couple more here. And one of them I really want to show you. So when I draw, sometimes when I'm drawing with a pencil, I'll put like a little border around a page. But one of my favorite things is to also do that with stitching. So let me do it and then I'll show you. And I'm going to go a little bit slower on this because it is a bit more specific than just stitching some kind of haphazard crazy lines. And if you want to have clips on hand, because I'm working on this ginormously like long journal, if you want to have clips on hand to clip stuff together so that it's not flopping all over, you should. It's really easy. Just have a couple on hand for you. Bulldog clips or wire clips or chip clips, whatever you like to work with. And you'll see what I mean right now. See? So it just kind of clips together. If it's automatic for you to backstitch, absolutely. I'm definitely not going to tell you don't ever do it, you know, but I totally get that, Doreen. And sometimes when I'm doing fabric, I forget to backstitch. And then I'm in a mess of hurt later when my stitching comes out. We have the opposite problem. Okay. So here is what I mean by just putting like a little border around the page. Here, I can get closer. Sometimes I'll do it with a stencil or even a Stabilo, but in this case, I can do it with stitching because I have my machine out. Oh, sorry. There, is that better? There, that's better. Okay. And let's see. Are any of you guys doing Carve December? I'm going to switch stitches. I'm going to go from my straight stitch now to my zigzag stitch. And I'm going to remember when you hear all those clicks, click, 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 that is me making my stitch length as long as it will go. Whoa, slow down. Oh, I used the wrong stitch. That's funny. Huh. It'll be interesting to see what that stitch was. Oh, it's tiny. How interesting. Okay. We're going to look at it together, but first... Yeah, just pick the ones, especially if it's not something like you're used to or you even love to do, but you just want to do some daily practice. Just pick the ones you like the most. And you don't even have to do them in order. Just do them. All right. So look at this tiny little, that's new for me. I never clicked that stitch before. I did it on accident. I was aiming for the zigzag stitch. I was one number off. And it is important to remember, though, that's when you're stitching, and if you know, whatever, it's easy to forget sometimes because you're looking at one side. But so they're stitching on this side, and they're stitching on this side, too. Hi, Pamela. How are you? All right, so let's see here. A little more stitching never hurt anybody, and I love it so much. I switched back to my straight stitch. And then this is kind of fun because there's this crazy pencil mark on this page, and I'm going to mimic it with the stitching. So I am actually really excited about it. Let's see how it goes. Okay. Hi, Nancy. Hi, Pam. Yay, everyone is here. Look at that. Oh, and that was good timing because my bobbin just ran out. So look at that. That's pretty cool. It's kind of crazy that's on the other side too, but all right. So I'm going to move my sewing machine because my bobbin ran out, and I'm not going to make you watch me thread a bobbin. All right. So see, like a lot of people are nervous about machine stitching, but seriously, like it's just go for it. Like why? It's so fun and it adds so much goodness. And I love all the little strings hanging off, and they're just delicious. I'm so glad you made it, Miss Nancy. I know, I was getting a good groove going, and I wanted to do some stitching on some of the tags too. But that's all right. And actually now I think I need twice as many tags. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Yeah, I do not have that many tags. How would I? Oh, because I already have one on here. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Yeah, I have to make 10 more tags. So that's, I'm going to paint up, I got to grab some real quick, but I'm going to paint up some more tags because since I decided not to put these inside the envelopes, I now have twice as much space to work with, which is actually very cool. And yeah, so I'll go from machine stitching to some tag work. How's that? Just saying. I'm going to just say you, Nancy. I love the strings. I love the strings so much. And I only ever made one like half quilt kind of, and it was what's it called? It is going to be a fatty. They all get fat. Where you sew out instead of in, so that then all the frayed edges are there. What are they? What's that called? Okay, 1, 2, 3. Here's one I started for something else. I can use this for a rag quilt. That's right. That's right. Yeah, I totally understand. Yeah, I did a rag quilt. And I did like 3 blocks or something. That's what I've heard. Yay. Unwild Studio stock to the rescue. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right. Got my tags. And then, so I'm going to work on these for the rest of our live here. And I may just do some machine stitching after we're done. Just to get some of that done, because I suppose that can be kind of boring to watch. So I'm brushing on some gesso. I'm not stressing about where it's going. I'm just getting some on each tag. And I will use the gesso later to help me make some marks on said tags. This one needs a lot of gesso where I had signed my name. It was part of a swap. And I did an extra one because sometimes I can't count. All right. And now, because I live in the desert, I can already go back to the first one and put a second layer of gesso. So it's a little thicker, a little more opaque instead of so translucent. Because I like white space. I like there to be a nice kind of crazy area to work in. Ooh, it's so quiet. Talk to me. All right, I'm going to flip over and do the back. Same thing on the back side. I do not have a designated brush just for gesso. And the reason is because all my paintbrushes are always dirty anyways. So like they're just sticking in a big nasty vat of water. See? I guess. I definitely don't spend too much time thinking about this part. So some people would put their gesso in a very specific place, but gesso for me is not, I mean, it's a primer. I understand that. I understand what its use is in the art world. But this gesso for me is more similar to a paint base. Like I use it like white paint. So I'm just scraping it on. It's one of my layers. It's covering some places. It's missing some others. And I don't know. It's not I don't always use it as a base. Do I clean them immediately? My paintbrushes? Absolutely not. When I clean them, they get lost. I only clean my paintbrushes like once every 3 weeks. Usually I clean them when I run out of a dry brush and I can't do any dry brushing. Then I get mad at myself and I go, if you would clean your brushes last week, then you would have lots of dry brushes to do dry brushing with. But guess what? You don't have any. So get your happy ass inside and wash your brushes. I love gesso as texture. Yep, me too. Okay. Put that in the water where it will live for a week. That's not true. I am running out of dry brushes, so I will probably take them in tonight and wash them. Probably being the key word there. Dina? You can feel sorry for them, but like I still love them. I still use them, you know, and it's a personal preference, and people will say, you know, you should clean your brushes more often or look at all the money that's going down the drain. But just because a brush has a little bit of quirkiness to it, I don't stop using it. Like that's not the kind of work that I do. Not that my work isn't detailed and it's okay. I absolutely 100% envy you for taking better care of your brushes than I do of mine. I really do, trust me. But I will continue to use mine, and the work that I do is pretty distressed and grungy and a little bit vintage and has lots of texture to it, so I don't need perfectly gorgeous brushes. I have 5 or 6 watercolor brushes on hand that I don't use for anything but watercolor. Because I know that those brushes need taking care of and they need to hold their shape, you know, for me to be able to watercolor with them, etc. But yeah, so, and then 2, I use this dirty water as a supply. And it reeks, by the way. It has so many different, like acrylic materials in it, but look at this gray color that it is. It's so different than anything I have. And I actually really love it. So I'm going to use it now. And it's water-based, you know, with a bit of acrylic in it. It's not like I wouldn't go bottling it and selling it, but it definitely is unique. And not everyone has it. Dirty, scuzzy water. But it just creates very interesting tones and effects. And sometimes it has a bit of grittiness to it. I don't know what's in it. I mean, as an artist, you use what you have, or you learn to use what you have. And I have plenty. Like, I'm totally not saying, oops, that I don't have supplies and I have to use dirty water. It was just here and I used it one day and it's awesome. What? There is, Nancy? And I know that it's going to dry light. So as it starts to dry, I'll come back in and add more. That's so interesting. I might bottle mine because sometimes I don't have it, like when I've cleaned out my brushes and my water. And I'm sad that I don't have my scuzzy water, but I might just put it in a bottle for me to use. Yeah, are you sure it's not you, Nancy? Oh, Pam. It does stink, I'm not going to lie. Like, it sits here for weeks, you guys. But... Okay, so this will be, I'm just going to do this on 3 of these for now because, again, like you're watching me do the same thing over and over, and that is not fun. But I'm going to get close to the camera and show you how these look. Because it's different. It's unique. It's a whole, it's just different than everything else. You did? What kind of fabric? Did you sell it? How much for? Who bought it? Why didn't you show it to me? I have to be careful with that sometimes because people really will just give me all of their stuff. Like, they're like, oh, I can't use this. Give it to DeeDee. But I don't use everything. And sometimes I've ended up with some really weird stuff. Okay, so here's one. And I love how the gray, so because I only gesso in some areas, I always have paper versus gesso. So I have paper, a very porous surface. I need to slow down. There, okay. I have paper versus, which is very porous, versus gesso, which is not as porous. So you can see how it reacts differently. It's pretty cool. Here I did like 3 little bulbs of, I like need to cover up more stuff in the background. There, okay, it's zoomed. Focused. Whoops. There we go. So this is probably my favorite one. If I get the excess off this guy, this one's pretty cool too. And it's kind of interesting where it goes into the tag, it has a bit of a green hue, which I find interesting. And if I tilt this to the side, you can see more of the, oh yeah, there. See, it has more, it's not showing you as much of the value change as there is on this, but it's pretty cool. And the scuzzy water, the color that it is, always lends itself really well to pencil work. Like they always go really nice together. The gray and the graphite. You got quiet again, or am I not live anymore? I need to find the one that I accidentally signed. Not accidentally. I signed it on purpose, but This one here. Oh, I just broke lead. That'll definitely make for some interesting marks. Oh, that's gross, Nancy. If you ever go through your cottons or your wools, some silks I'm okay with, but most of that other stuff, ugh. You're doing a good fall cleaning. What are you making space for? What you got? What you got? What you got? Ooh, I love this. So I mentioned earlier that I will use the gesso as a way to sort of guide my mark making when I get to mark making. So as I'm making repeatable patterns out of graphite and Stabilo and things like that, these two white portions, I am going to connect them with a row of lines. Yeah, I love it. I love it. Sorry, when I stop, it's because I'm reading. Reading your comments. And this is just a basic number 2 pencil by Jot. And it's nice, and it does the job, gets the work done. I covered one completely in gesso on the back, which I think is fun. I don't do that often, so sometimes I throw it in as a change. Bye, Lisa. Be safe. I do too. So I love black and white, and then I really like to mix in a gray. It's always nice. And so all these tags, they're the same way. They have black, they have gray, they have white, they have neutral, you know, the manila color, some muslin. Oh, sorry. I just thought I had brainstorm about the focusing thing, but maybe I didn't. Maybe I didn't. And I know that you've sort of just seen me filling in the manila areas, but I mark on the gessoed areas as well. And I just keep it varied, and I work back and forth between the different tags. I flip them over to see what's going on. Yeah, just doing some stuff. Nothing specific. I've been doing this long enough that I know what I like, and I'm confident in sort of just moving on and setting one to the side, and I'll come back to it later, and I've got this one, and you know, there's plenty to do. And not everything needs pencil on it either. Not everything has to have every supply. So I just make sure there's a little on each one. Bye, Dina. Have a great night. So when Dina leaves, I know we have about 15 minutes left. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to ask. I am going to do a little bit of stitching off camera, but I promise that will be the only thing I do. Otherwise, I will be back next Wednesday, and I still have 15 minutes left, so don't leave. But I'll be back next Wednesday here on YouTube Live to continue working on this project. Tuesdays and Thursdays, I'm working in my chunky journal for supporters, paper collager and up. So $10 and up. Get to watch Tuesdays and Thursdays. Do you want to see a sneak peek? Oh, do I have any Christmas? No, not this year. Like because we're still bunking with our in-laws, and it's hard to do like that kind of extra decor type stuff. So here's the book I'm working in on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Here's a quick peek through. I'll just do a quick flip through. You can see the pages. Every one of these pages has been made live, start to finish. Some of them have really gone through some stuff. Some of them still have quite a bit to go. But these pages and how they're put together are done on Tuesdays and Thursdays for supporters. All kinds of techniques and tips and tricks go into these pages. All right, back to work. But probably gonna rebind it. Give it a new bind, a new spine. Work it, work it. Okay, that guy's good. He's good totally. Let's see. This one's good totally. This one's good totally. This one too. Here, let's do... That one's good. 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 Oh yeah, I'm not doing that again. I already did it once. So if it doesn't close, it doesn't close. You're absolutely right. I should think that way also. Just triple it. Triple what I think it needs. Straight up. I think you are right. I want a Stabilo. I have a million of them. Why can't I ever find them? All right, so I put some Stabilo on a non-porous surface, and I'm going to do a little bit of splattering. Not a ton, and I don't want splatters on every one of them because, again, they don't all need the exact same stuff. All right, almost dry. Looking good. Do a couple on the back, same deal. There, that looks good. Tomorrow night for supporters, I'm going to do an image transfer. One I haven't shown you before, a technique. Ooh, I wish I would have brought a hair clip in. Oh, pencil to the rescue. Sometimes I can get the pencil thing to work and sometimes I can't. There we go. Got it. Okay. All right. I think this might be a good place to stop just because I don't, yeah, I would get out my Stabilo next, which I will do next Wednesday. So I'm doing a whole nother set of 10 tags because I have decided to connect my tags to the outside instead of utilizing the envelope on the inside. I'm so excited. Okay. You guys want to talk about anything? Do you have any questions for me? I am going to do a pop-up shop in the middle of December. Got more carved stamps coming up. So quiet out there. I don't know how long the not lag, but how long the relay is. That's not the right word either, but it's closer than delay, relay, delay, how long the delay is from when I ask a question to when you hear it and answer and I see. You're so welcome. Thanks for being here, Deborah. Oh, for supporters who are $10 and up can attend on Tuesdays and Thursdays. To access those, you have to access them from the community page. So I just learned that. Okay, so tomorrow night, when we get done here tonight, I'm going to schedule tomorrow nights and I'll make a post about it in the community. And then tomorrow night at about 6:45 or right at 7 Pacific time, just go to the community and you can click the video from there, okay? It doesn't make an announcement because it's for supporters only, so it doesn't make a public announcement. But by scheduling it, you can just click that picture and come straight to it. Oh, thanks, Doreen. I'll be glad to have you. Thanks for being here, Diane. I'll catch you all, well, I'll catch supporters tomorrow night. Good night, you guys.